Today we got a team matchup that I'm actually pretty excited for. Fantastic Four versus the Sinister Six. Who wins? Well, let's find out. An intrepid group of astronauts, Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm, originally received their powers after being exposed to an immense amount of cosmic radiation during a trip into space. Mutated and given strange powers by this exposure, they became the Fantastic Four and dedicated the use of their powers for the benefit of mankind. Mr. Fantastic is the leader of the Fantastic Four and is considered to be one of the smartest men alive. Reed's main superpower is that his body becomes elastic and he has complete control over it, bending it and stretching it any way that he chooses. He can squeeze through openings as small as one molecule, stretch up to 3 miles long, wrap around and smother opponents, and can't really be hurt by bullets or knives. However, Reed's main asset is his intelligence. Galactus himself remarked that Reed has universally significant intelligence, is a master in a wide array of fields and subjects, and is arguably the smartest man on Earth. Sue Storm is the Invisible Woman, with the ability to generate powerful force fields and the ability to turn invisible. Sue has the power to bend light waves around her, making her invisible, and she also has the power to turn other objects invisible just by using her imagination. But Sue's greatest power is the ability to create force fields. With this, she's learned how to create strong shields, ladders and bridges, weapons and projectiles, can suffocate opponents, or even cause objects to explode by creating a force field inside of them and then expanding it. Johnny Storm is the Human Torch, the second most powerful member of the Fantastic Four, and has the ability to manipulate fire. He's able to project blast of fire, create shapes and objects out of flame, can absorb heat from an area, and can change his body's density to become light enough to fly. Then Johnny has the ability to go supernova, which makes him more powerful, to where he can project blast rather than the heat of a star, and battle against the Annihilation Wave. Ben Grimm, or The Thing, was the original quintessential tough guy of the Marvel Universe. He possesses immense superhuman strength, as he can lift over 100 tons, and even support the weight of a multi-story building. The Thing is also incredibly durable, so his entire body, including the internal organs and soft tissues, is made out of superhuman rock. And then, in the other corner, we have the Sinister Six. The Sinister Six is the name of various teams assembled with the purpose of defeating Spider-Man or pursuing various criminals' endeavors. There have been many members of the team throughout the years, but for this fight, we'll be using the roster of Dr. Octopus, Sandman, Electro, Rhino, Vulture, and Mysterio, a very powerful version of the team. Doc Ock has a genius-level intellect in the fields of atomic physics and radiation, but his most notable feature are the 4 prehensile tentacles attached to his torso. He has telepathic control over these tentacles, can extend them over 24 feet, move them fast enough to tag Spider-Man, and they also give him superhuman strength. Sandman has had a complicated past as both a villain and hero, but most recently, he's reluctantly returned to his life of crime. Sandman's body is made entirely out of sand, and has complete control over every sand particle that makes up his body. He's capable of transforming his body into any solid object that he desires, ranging from hammers and clubs to even impersonating people and animals. He can grow his strength to where he can stand up to guys like the Thing and Hulk, and also can't be easily defeated, as when his body is scattered or dispersed, he can quickly reform himself. Electro is one of Spider-Man's most dangerous enemies. It could actually be called one of the most dangerous people on Earth if he was able to fully realize his potential. Electro can easily discharge and manipulate the flow of electricity that his body gives off, as well as riding power lines and levitating, and can even manipulate the electricity inside of a person's body. However, Electro's greatest flaw is that he isn't fully aware of his capabilities, and his powers sometimes tend to fire back on him. Rhino is definitely a brawn over brains kind of character, and it's safe to say that after his most recent power-up, he is the strongest person here. He's battled against the Hulk on numerous occasions, sent Nova flying to outer space with a punch, and one time Spider-Man who was prepped to fight against the Rhino, couldn't even budge him with all of his strength. Adrian Toombs, otherwise known as the Vulture, has a harness that allows him to fly, and even gives him the physical strength to lift around 700 pounds. He also has razor sharp wings that he can use to cut and injure opponents. Then finally we have Mysterio. Mysterio doesn't actually have any superpowers, but he still is a dangerous opponent. He mixes advanced technology with great skill at illusion and has things like hologram projectors, radar sensors, and various hallucinogenic gases. I'd love to do a brief intermission here and do a shameless plug for my new channel, Cinephile. We're going to talk about all things movie and TV. We're going to cover such topics as why did Justice League fail? Why did Solo fail? Does Star Wars The Last Jedi deserve the hate? What makes Thor and Loki's relationship so great? Avengers 4 theories like, did Doctor Strange create a time paradox? Why is no one in the Empire really afraid of Darth Vader? Stuff like that. As well as delving into more TV stuff like which is better, Office or Parks and Rec, How Much I Love Friends. And then fan theories like, is Peter Pan the angel of death? Plus we got reviews for new movies and TV coming out every single week. Links down in the description, make sure you go subscribe, because it's going to be one incredible ride. Anyways, get back to this video. So let's break it down. Now the 6 definitely have the numbers advantage here. I mean, it's right there in the name. Sinister Six, Fantastic Four. But that's alright, because the FF generally tend to operate on a higher level, taking on threats like Doctor Doom, Silver Surfer, and Galactus, as opposed to people like Spider-Man. But now let's actually break down this matchup and see who comes out on top. The Thing is the Fantastic Four's powerhouse and brute strength tough guy, but that's countered by none other than Rhino. And now the Thing loves a challenge and a fight, so you know that these two are going to quickly go head to head. Now it's probable that Rhino is even stronger and more powerful than Thing here. You can debate back and forth about who would come out on top, since the Thing is a better fighter and has had a lot of experience punching above his weight class, but the point is that the fight is going to go on for a while, and both of them will be subdued and focus on fighting each other. Then it's only 3 against 5. Mr. Fantastic isn't much of a fighter, but his greatest asset in this fight is his intelligence. I mean, if Spider-Man is able to outsmart Electro and Doc Ock, then Reed Richards definitely can as well. He'll be able to come up with ways to subdue Sandman and make him immobile or defeat Electro. But really, the two most important people in this fight are the Human Torch and Invisible Woman. Johnny's got more raw power than pretty much anyone else on the other team, besides maybe Electro. But Electro's kind of stupid and doesn't fully understand how to use his powers, but Johnny does. He has the potential to turn Sandman into glass, and then he'll smoke Vulture in the sky, as he's a whole lot faster and a much better flyer. But the key to this fight isn't Johnny, it's Sue, the Invisible Woman. She is so underrated, and by far the most powerful character on either team. From the get-go, she has the ability to just put all the 6 into a giant bubble and suffocate them. Bing bang boom, done and done. She can rip Doc Ock's tentacle from his body by creating a force field inside of them and then expanding it, as her force fields have cracked celestial armor before. She can easily subdue Vulture and Mysterio, trap Sandman Electro in a force field, and simply suffocate Rhino. Then if anybody in the Fantastic Four winds up getting injured, oh boy, watch out. Sue is essentially an overprotective mama bear. It will rain all hell down upon the 6. I mean, during the Civil War, when Taskmaster injured Reed, Sue left Taskmaster as nothing more than a splat on the floor. Now if Sue's powers, combined with Johnny's fire, Reed's intelligence, and Ben's strength, they're just gonna be way too much for the Sinister Six. They really are. Because here's the problem with the 6. Despite all their abilities and intelligence, they're idiots. Plain and simple. Doc Ock and Mysterio have brains, Vulture has money, and Rhino, Sandman, Electro have power, but yet they can't take down Spider-Man. I mean, how could a team that's lost to Spider-Man single-handedly on several occasions defeat a team that's gone up against freaking Galactus on multiple occasions. They can't. The Fantastic Four are winning this one. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sign off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe button. More videos just this one every single day. And I'll see y'all next time.